So fat is essential. So you want to get a certain amount of fat in your diet. You want to get what's called essential fatty acids. And oh dear, okay, sorry, I'm distracted. I'm looking at it and realize I am running overtime. I'm supposed to only be 15 minutes. And I haven't even gotten halfway through this. So I am going to stop right now. Rather, okay, I won't stop, but I'm going to have to split this video into two parts. So just be aware, this is probably on the second part of this day 2 video. Anyway, so I was talking about fats. Essential fatty acids, your omega-3s, which you can get from like flaxseed oil and fish oils, which I talked about yesterday. So anyway, all that to say, fat is a good thing. I started coconut milk, which has a high fat content, but it's medium chain fatty acids, so those fats are good for you. And I've been pleased with coconut milk, and I like the taste of it, and no allergic reactions, and they even make coconut milk ice cream, so that's my little treat for myself occasionally. So the two main things that I'll be doing for right now in terms of trying to shrink my fibroids are having given up the dairy. Now, I won't lie, I have backslid like 4 times since giving up dairy back in February. It's now, what, June? And so I did. I had some of that cow titty juice, but I'm really trying to stay committed to being off the dairy. And I am taking the cinnamon of Poria tea pills. So we'll see how that goes, and I may add other things. I'm also definitely, not just for the fibroids, but for my overall health, working to increase my vitamin intake and my fiber intake as well. So what else happened today? Let's see. I got a chance to talk with some of the other brothers and sisters at my school and kind of catch up with them and catch up with folks. It's always a beautiful thing. It always brings a smile to my face. So I was still feeling kind of down after I came from my doctor's appointment, but I went over to school for grand rounds and I was a little early, so I had time to, stop in the hallways and chat with folks and get hugs from other people and talk about what's going on with them. Not necessarily these big, huge things, but it's the little things that can bring joy to your life sometime. I talked with one of the alums of our school who's a doctor. She's now in practice, and we were talking about trying different ways that we want to try and bring health to the community. And of course, when I say the community, I mean to us as, African peoples, Africans here in America, and the community in particular in this area where I'm living. And I had come up with the idea of doing that through the Juneteenth festival. However, that didn't exactly pan out because the Juneteenth festival wanted money to have a booth or table there, and right now, okay, if it had been earlier in our quarter, our school works on quarter systems and we get a living disbursement quarterly. Now it's kind of near the end of the quarter, and I'm trying to kind of conserve funds, so I don't necessarily have the funds to lay out to get this table at this Juneteenth festival to do, bring some naturopathic health to the community. And I had contacted this sister who, like I said, is a graduate from our school, in hopes of trying to get some alums to sit at the table. And she was saying, she had more notice about it, maybe she would have been able to kick in the funds to pay for the table. But, she wasn't able to do that either. So we won't be making an appearance at the Juneteenth festival to talk about naturopathic medicine because the festival's tomorrow. But I'll be going to the festival anyway. But maybe in terms of planning for next year. So we also talked about, maybe other opportunities for getting naturopathic medicine and health out into the community in some other ways. I told her, there's an African festival that takes place here in October, so that might be a possibility. And then she was telling me about some opportunities at some local churches. And, I would definitely be open to that because even though I'm not a Christian, though I used to be, I know a lot of our people are still Christian. And so reaching people at church, you've kind of got a captive audience. And that seems a good way to reach our community as African people, as Black people. So that might be a possibility. And then I just, was in the hallways at school just kind of catching up with brothers and sisters until it was time for me to go to Grand Rounds. And so by the time I got in Grand Rounds, one of my close friends and classmates, he observed, "Wow, you're looking like you're feeling much better." And I was just like, not really. But then I thought about it, and even though my body may not have been physically feeling well this morning, just the opportunity of getting a chance to talk to folks just had kind of so rejuvenated my spirit. It had kind of spilled over into the physical. So that's that whole mind, body, spirit connection. And, I was feeling better. Anyway, we had Grand Rounds, and interesting. Well, actually, no, not really. The speaker there was talking about prolotherapy, and prolotherapy is a practice of injecting a substance directly into your joints. It's done for mostly for folks who've suffered some type of traumatic joint injury due to sports usually. And what it does is this substance that's injected into the joint is so thick, viscous, and I guess, I don't want to say harsh, but usually it's dextrose and some other stuff, that it actually causes cellular damage and inflammation. And that damage and inflammation is an intentional damage and inflammation, an intentionally targeted damage and inflammation. And so the concept behind prolotherapy is then that the body mounts that inflammatory response to that substance that's been injected into it, and then that inflammatory response will then parlay into a healing and remodeling response, which will help to heal whatever injury was done before that non-intentional injury as well, and allow a person to have greater range of motion. So like if they had a rotator cuff tear, rotator cuff is this joint here for your shoulder, which allows you to move your arm like that. So if there's been a tear and they have a decreased range of motion, maybe they can only lift their arm that much, or maybe they can only rotate a little bit, or maybe any type of motion there causes pain, then it's hoped that prolotherapy will alleviate that pain and cause an increase in range of motion. The same thing goes for the knees, ankles, whatever joint it's injected into. One of the things about prolotherapy, and the speaker today said it, prolotherapy is actually kind of painful to get. Think about it. You've got a big needle, and it's a big needle because it's got to go deep. It's got to go all the way into the joint, and it's big because it's pushing a very viscous material into the joint space. So you kind of need a larger gauge of needle. I know, big needles, big pain. Whew. Um, so it's painful. That's one of the drawbacks. The other drawback is, I'm going to naturopathic school to learn about the healing power of nature. How is injecting a foreign substance into the body in keeping with the concept of the healing power of nature? I think that the advocates of prolotherapy would say, well, because injecting that substance into the body is then going to induce your body to mount a natural response to this unnatural substance, and then through that response create healing in the body. So that's how it's natural. I don't think I totally agree. Yeah, because you're causing intentional damage to the body. Isn't the concept of naturopathic medicine, one of the concepts of naturopathic medicine, I should rather say, is to first do no harm. So I'm kind of on the fence about that. But then I think about relatives in my family who have arthritis and pain, and they've been doing things like they've changed their diet, they are getting acupuncture, not as frequently as they probably need to, and trying to add some beneficial supplements, but still having persistent osteoarthritis pain. Would something like Prolo be of benefit to them? I'm not really sure, because really the context that I've heard prolotherapy talked about has always been for treatment of athletic injuries. So I wonder if it's applicable to arthritis cases. But if so, maybe that would be good for them to have another tool in their kind of tool chest of things to help resolve their osteoarthritis condition. Possibilities. But for now, I'm not in favor of prolotherapy, but I thought I'd put the information out there so you can see what I've learned, and you can do your own research on prolotherapy and kind of form your own opinion. Let's see, what else has gone on today? Yes. Okay, so I will try and make this brief, but I am battling with procrastination right now. I've got patient charts from, it's now like 2 weeks ago, that I still haven't completely finished. And I keep telling myself every day I'm going to do it, and every day I've been putting it off. And that's not a good thing. What does that say about my commitment to really helping my patients to heal if I haven't even finished the chart notes? One of the things that I guess I'm seeing as a barrier to me completing the chart note is that I have to use this whole electronic medical record system. I was fine with typing the chart note up in just a Word document, but the ins and out of this medical system and trying to figure out how to navigate it has just been kind of baffling. And so it's kind of intimidating to me to even try and tackle it. And so that's one of the reasons why I've gotten 2 weeks behind in doing this patient chart note. But I am putting it out here because I want to be honest in my video logs. And I'm also putting it out here as a way of having accountability. So we better not get to a third video log and I still be talking about not having finished those, patient charts. So, hold me to it, comment on it. Yeah, keep me doing what I'm supposed to do and keep me on point. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. I will end by wishing you peace and blessings, and I'll say Salagashli, or Salanigasli, plural, for stay well.